here. I know it's connected to the internet, so we go through that. And we're going to talk about social innovation at Twitter. Here's Claire. She's one of my contacts. Here's the founder of Craigslist. He's one of my contacts. Here's the founder of the Choco Foundation here in San Diego. He's one of my contacts. Here's the vice president of marketing at Univision. She's one of my contacts. And here, we'll stay in San Diego, the head of web and e-commerce at Sony. Okay, so we'll start with Claire. I apologize for having some internet issues. I'll go in more into, without showing it online, I'll describe it to you. So it has to be more specific to you. And I apologize for that because we're having some internet issues in the building. But here's how it works. I'm connected to Claire. Claire is my first contact. LinkedIn is based on 3 degrees of separation. I know you. You know me. You know 5 people you would like for me to talk to. Like you guys were all sitting outside networking, right? What I do is network on steroids. Okay? So you're going to try to introduce me to 5 people, okay? I'm going to introduce you to 1,000. And I'm going to do it in minutes. And if I want to introduce you to Claire, you can go through me to get to Claire. Can you go in Claire's office? Knock on her door at Twitter? I'm the CEO of Twitter. Can you do that? Okay. So here's the, and as he's working on that, here's the important part of that. As he's kind of working on making sure we have internet, so I'll be able to describe it. But I'll keep talking as we get up there. So it will be good as we can show it as I go into my network. What Claire is doing for me, I mean, I'm not anybody. Why is she connected to me? Why is Deepak Chopra connected to me? Why? I'm nobody. Here's the psychology behind it. I have 30,000 contacts. They've never met me in life. No, I have met Deepak Chopra. I have met him at a conference. And I got to meet him. And I told him after, when I sent something to him, he did connect with me after that. But some of these people are very well-known people, big names, right? The idea behind LinkedIn is based on social influence. And so is work, employment, jobs, and data. He who has access to the data can make the fastest decision in business. He who knows who has access to the data can make the fastest decision in business. Yeah. So we're up. Okay. So we're in. Thank you so much, Clay. Okay. So here I am. Here I am with Claire at Twitter. And here's what I'm looking at when I'm with her. I'm not interested in her. When I have 30,000 contacts, I am interested in who she knows. Because the power of LinkedIn is not in the first degree. It's not that we're connected. The reason to have a large network in LinkedIn is because of the algorithm of LinkedIn. And here's the important thing of the algorithm. I have 57 shared contacts with her, including the founder of Craigslist. Whoa! So her network, her social network includes him too. This is where it gets crazy. Every one of you, I can look up any one of you who are active users in your social media graph, and I can find out who you know. Mm-hmm. And by finding out who you know, I can do business with who you know. Mm-hmm. You can introduce me to them virtually, or I can just simply know who you know. And by knowing who you know, I know who your influencers are. And by knowing who your influencers, I can sell to them products or services, or you can introduce me to them, and I can sell products or services. So I think that's what I wanted to make sure you saw on Claire on that. So, and I'm going to go back in here and get back to my presentation. So I'm going to go locally here for a minute. Why is this important? Right now we're sitting in an office that has high security. You have high security internet. If I wanted to go talk to you, you might go to a front desk over there and they'd say, you can't talk to that person. Am I right? It's the corporate world, right? It's a corporate world. In fact, that's what I did for years. Before I was so good at internet side, I was literally a direct marketing person. I had opened hotels and restaurants. I would say there's a new hotel, and I would go 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, talk to every corporate business in the area, and secure all the corporate business. I also would take all the business from their competitors. This way, which is millions of dollars. We're talking millions of dollars. Here. So here's the aspect of it. I'm inside Sony. I can get inside Sony anytime I want through him and others. Okay? Now people start smiling. I'm seeing these smiles going on here because I'm putting the box on its head. Okay? So we'll go back a little bit to our next part here. So one of the important things you need to do is realize that LinkedIn actually is a website and it's your own URL. So you need to secure your own name. What LinkedIn is a personal brand. A lot of people ask me and say, that's a professional resume, right? It's an online resume. That's not what LinkedIn is. If you printed my LinkedIn profile, it'd be 26 pages long. Resumes, 1, 2, 3 pages, right? LinkedIn is the professional story of your life. From the time you went to school to the time you were, where you went to school, what you like, who you know. It is the professional story of your entire life. And when you end this world, it stays virtual. Who you met, what you did with your life, who you helped, who you knew. It's a virtual story of your life. That's where it's powerful. The algorithm based on LinkedIn is based just like on Google by word keyword search. The algorithm behind LinkedIn, which is really important to know, is it's based on those keyword searches inside of your profile. This is the reason to have a full profile. If you say you're good at marketing, you say you're good at internet marketing, you need to have all of that in your profile because people are searching that and you're popping up. If you're not in there, you're just not there. You don't exist. That's the reason now. The reason to have a big network is because the second degree is more important than the first degree. Okay. Now, why is this important? You connect with connectors. I am a spoke in a wheel. You have to go through me to get to all these 30,000 people. And what you want to be is a spoke in a wheel. By being a spoke in the wheel, you are the communicator between all these other people that have to go through you to get to other people. This is I want to stress this for a minute. Everybody in the room is talking to each other and meeting each other, but I don't know what y'all do. Can y'all tell me what you do for business right now? Could you do that right there? But if I look you up right now, I know what you do. I know what you do for business. I know what you like. I know what you're into. You like sports, you like basketball. I know you like that. I can talk to you about that when I meet you. You can't do that in real life. So it allows you to expand your networking from virtual to real, real to virtual. Now, somebody else was asking me about this. This is another thing that's really great about LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows you to send messages to 50 people at one time. under certain subjects, and you can keep sending 50, 50, 50, 50 messages. Now, why is that important? You can do that in email, right? I mean, you could send, send things, market people, send that information in email. Here's the difference between email and LinkedIn. You don't know who they know. You have no idea who they're forwarding it to. But in LinkedIn, you know who they know. So you're not just sending it to them. If they have 1,000 contacts, they literally can forward those to another 50 and another 50 and another 50. And you can know who they know. Each one knows. So the data is like there. It's like transparent. That's really powerful in a company situation because you can take any company and you can get inside of a company virtually without physically being there. So I do recommend that every business does have a company page. Here's the reason you should have a company page, because the algorithm in there is when people are searching for you, you have to have a presence. You have to have a presence on that. Just if you have a presence with a website, and you have a presence with everything on Google, and you have to have a presence, an online presence, to bring that into your world. This is really important because this data defines who you are. You're telling a story of your life to attract business and things to you to solve goals and problems. They're not just business problems. They may be something you're interested in. And here's the other part that's really powerful about it. You can literally surround yourself with consultants anywhere in the world. It could be international. It could be in the US. But if you want to solve a problem, you can reach out in your network and find somebody who's done that for 30 years, 20 years. And you can begin to solve problems over and over again in a rapid manner. So I want to say what it is. So my background, my wife is originally from Guadalajara, and I've traveled for over 20 years in Mexico. And so I've been going to Guadalajara for many years now through my marriage. And I went to an area of Guadalajara where they produce all the tequila. And I noticed something in it, like this is where you solve problems. I noticed there was nobody organizing these people in social media. And this is a huge industry, multi-billionaire industry, right? Nobody was organizing people in social media. So I said, wow, what if I started organizing those people in social media? I mean, I'm not an expert at tequila, but what if I just make the group? So the group turned into 1,500 people. Jose Cuervo, Salsa, vice president, CEOs. Who can I get access to now in an industry? 1,500 people, and the majority of them are major tequila companies. US, Mexican based. It's virtual. Complete seamless virtually. Business is being done and deals are being done inside the group. Now this is powerful for a minute. So here's the side of the business I'm talking about. You're the source. You're not waiting for things to happen. In business, you don't wait for things to happen. You make things happen. You are the source. If there's a problem to be solved, you're solving it. Because that's business. So I saw a problem and I said, what would happen if I did this? And the amazing thing is I have so much appreciation from it. I started to get all these recommendations from people that were high up from this level. So, and I'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, I'm here at the Apple Store working on the presentation for you guys, showing how important it is on your LinkedIn profile to add video and pics specifically to your profile to enhance your presentation to everybody on the internet.
Technology is getting like this, where you just talk to people on the internet. You can now do all that in your profile. You can literally put messages in your profile. You can literally do all the things about your business in your profile. You can profile events. You can profile what you do. You can make a video about your product or service. You then can put that into your profile, and then it can be shared. As your network gets bigger, it gets shared with other people. It's selling, and social selling. It's called social selling. It's taking over the way we do business right now. We sit right now. It's called social selling. It's selling person to person, place to place, but the internet's doing it on steroids. Okay, so LinkedIn is a tool. And these are just tools. How you use the tools is important. So you can expand your network through LinkedIn, through all the other tools, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can hook that to your account. You can hook your website to LinkedIn. You can hook your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube account. Everything can be hooked to LinkedIn. Now, most people have never done that. They've never even tried that. But it's completely a circle of communications. When I work with companies on this is what I do. I ask one question. How, Tiny knows this, how do you communicate with your customer? Oh, email, I have a website, I have this. I want a complete list of how you communicate with your customer. Then I'm going to create a circle of communications that never end. I'm going to tie them all into a knot. And as they feed and grow, they keep growing as a circle. The circle gets stronger and stronger and stronger and never ends. So what you're doing with LinkedIn, by having a lot of contacts, you're building a wall of information. Okay? And as the wall gets bigger, it gets stronger and stronger. And your presence online gets stronger and stronger. So that's why, you know, the head of Zappos is connected to me. Anybody try to, you know, go to Vegas and we meet the guy? That's why they connect to me. That's social influence. Now, what can I do with social influence? I can help people. Looking for a job? I'll get you a job in a week. I got 50,000, and I got 5,000 recruiters in my network. Every major company I have a recruiter, I got it. I got Amazon, I got Facebook recruiters, I got Google recruiters. I got every recruiter you can think of. So you want to be introduced to a company? I'll do it for you. Your life will change in a week. Now, he was just talking about that with life insurance. What I like to do, and I do it for free, by the way, Daddy knows this, is I like to empower people through the data. And it has something to do with my background. My background is this. My father died when I was 4, Irish Catholic family of 5 kids, put myself through college. I sit here today with I own 2 properties. I sit in East Lake. I have a great life, a beautiful wife, but I knew what struggle was. I knew it was like to have nothing. So I really take the data and empower people with it. And I love to do it. It juices me every day. Because this is life altering. What I teach is life altering. Because it isn't just a tool, what I'm saying, is it's the first tool that has organized all the data of companies globally. Data of companies mean you can get access to any company globally. Okay, so I'm real big on groups. You can join 50 groups in LinkedIn. And here's the powerful thing about groups. Inside the group, you can do something you can't do if you're first connections. Okay, that's why I also created a group. You know, because I can't be connected to everybody in a group. I can have 2nd and 3rd level people in groups. But inside the group, I can do instant messaging inside of a group without any cost to me. I can message anyone in that group. There's 1,000 people in that group, I can message 1,000 people. So what does that mean? If you have a specialized group, you have a specialized interest, you can reach out to experts momentarily. Get data and information to solve problems. Any field, any work, you can do it. And there are groups which, you know, I say start your own group because then you control the data. But if you want to be in other people's group, there's a group of social media marketing, 700,000 people. So the data is so heavy. We're dealing with big data here. What can you do with big data? This is what you can do with big data. You can begin to network people, make those relationships, and ask for referrals through your data. I just met you today, right? But you know that I know these people, right? Would you like to do business with them? I'll introduce you if you'd like. Does that start to make sense? Okay. Now, here is the problem in business. Business said, I know this, and I'm not going to share my knowledge with you because that's how I make all my money. I know how to do this. You don't. I just told you how to eliminate it. What can I not learn from someone else? I can learn how to buy land. I can learn how to buy real estate. I can learn how to do investments. I can learn how to do tech investments. I can learn how to buy insurance. I can reach out to somebody who's done it for 20, 30 years. I can get access to any information I want. That is why you use LinkedIn, to get access to the data to make your decisions go faster in your business. So LinkedIn has an advertising format. This is the little guy, this is the big guy. $25,000 and guarantees you it gets into millions of people, which is what Volkswagen does. This one allows you to do targeted images, pay-per-click, servicing online, and do an active strategist advertising. Now, for a company, this could be effective, and a bigger company too. For a small business, I can show you how to do it for nothing. Okay, so what is the most important part of LinkedIn? It is your photo. If you don't have a photo, everybody's you're being Googled because it's hooked to Google. You need a photo. I want to talk about that later. It's your summary. It is the single most important part of LinkedIn. It should answer 2 questions. Why are you on LinkedIn? What are you trying to accomplish there? If you don't answer those 2 questions, you'll get nothing from LinkedIn. Nothing. Because you're not telling anybody what you want. The power in what you want is to tell people what you want. If you tell people what you want, it will come back to you with what you want. But if they don't know what you want, they're not going to do business with you because they have no idea what you want. Yeah. This is interactive, by the way. People can ask questions as I go here. I'm an interactive presenter. You can, if you have questions, shoot them at me. You can ask questions to me. I'm not one of those people that sit back, I'm the expert. No, you're the expert. Here's why you're the expert. You're in business. If you start talking to each other, this is the power of business.
Well, a question regarding LinkedIn. Once I add you, how many people can I add? Or is it referral based?
Oh, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Once, say I'm LinkedIn, I add you, right?
Right.
After, how many people could I add? Is there like a limit, or could I just try to add as many as I can?
LinkedIn will, one account will, after 30-some thousand, about 35, it'll lock the account. My account, by the way, is locked permanently. If I don't have your email address, I can't connect to you.
No, I understand that. But could I just click in your profile to
And
add
add
your?
And add his.
Yes, you can. You can.
I can just click your profile and add, I can go to your contacts and click their
Yes,
profile
you can.
and add them?
As long as they don't have any restrictions on the way they do it.
Honestly,
It'll pop up and it'll say there's different ways you can connect, right? It'll say you're a friend, you're a colleague, all different ways that you connect. And you can say which one yours, like you've done business with them before.
And in your summary, it's important that you have your email available so people can send you, an invitation.
Yes, let's definitely have your email, your other websites and all that. I totally agree with you. I was just wondering if there was a restriction on, because on Facebook you can only click so many and then it tells you, hey,
Now, I get messages from LinkedIn saying I'm a computer. That's kind of weird, right? You're not real. Yeah, we're not real. It's like you keep connecting to all these people. Well, you're not real. Here's the strange thing about LinkedIn. LinkedIn said, and I'll go back in history about how LinkedIn got started. Because LinkedIn is the first social media, by the way. There was no other social media before LinkedIn. It is the first. There will be no Facebook without LinkedIn. The first investor in Facebook was the creator of LinkedIn. That makes you think for a minute, right? Okay, so when we go back in time and you think about what was all this about, you know, all these things. When I first started with this first 100 users, right? There was a part of these users that said, wow, this could be powerful. This could be really powerful. You get to get access to CEOs, vice presidents, people of influence. This has never happened before in history. And LinkedIn said, oh, we have this policy. You have to connect with people you know. But we'll let you have 30,000. I don't know. I don't know 30,000. Anybody here know 30,000 people? So it makes no sense, right? So these group of heavy networkers, they asked me to go and be part of their group and say, look, we're going to create a website separate from LinkedIn. We're going to call it toplink.com. Okay? And we're going to call it Pay It Forward, because our idea behind that was to help other people. We knew this data could help people, change their lives, help them through problems, solve problems for them by getting access to people. So they created this area, which is still, by the way, LinkedIn doesn't like that much. They don't like these people. People like me that have 30,000 contacts, they don't like me that much. Because, you know, I am really taking advantage of that of the data. And here's what I'm going to ask you right now. If everybody in the room had 30,000 people, what would happen?
You would be in a whole different scenario.
Your whole life would change.
Yeah. Your net worth would just go up.
Yeah. So here it is. What is LinkedIn? Okay. What is LinkedIn? What is social media? It is equity. That's what it is. It's equity. You're building social equity, just like when you have equity in investments and money and things and cars, and you're building equity in yourself. And the higher your equity goes, the more likely people want to be around you. I have no idea why all these high-level CEOs and vice presidents keep connecting to me. But I do know that I have the equity, right? And I keep building the equity. And I'm cashing the equity when I need it. When I need to help somebody, I cash the equity. Question?
I recently opened a company page on LinkedIn, and I saw that it was different than, a personal account, in a way that you cannot invite people to come and like a company page.
They can't follow you on LinkedIn.
I wanted
Yes.
to ask, like, what do you advise to make people follow you? Can you make like campaigns on Facebook or?
You can do those paid campaigns. I wouldn't. What I would do is a campaign within your own network and through other social media to drive them in. So if you have a following in Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all those things, you intertwine it so that you promote your LinkedIn between that and inside LinkedIn itself. And then you grow it. So I mean, I didn't get 30,000 people overnight. I'm growing it one person at a time. Sometimes people say, that's insane. Right? That's like insane. Why would you keep growing people over, right? See, what I'm telling you is that when you get at a high volume, it is a vibration. Okay? And your vibration is getting higher. This is why Facebook is worth a lot of money. This is why Facebook bought Instagram that sells absolutely nothing for $2 billion. Can you explain to me why a company would buy something for $2 billion that sells nothing?
The contact info they're going to get. Right?
Right. Well, there's equity in it. There's equity in it. They know there's equity in it. So what you're talking a technical question. Right? Your technical question, and I'll repeat to you, is do it on multiple levels. So spread it out through all your different formats, email as well. All those different things, and then build 5 at a time, 10 at a time, 5 at a time. If you start right now, and a year from now, you will have 100 people, you're winning. If 2 years from now, you have 1,000 people, you're winning. Because you got it for nothing. You didn't pay for them.
Okay, but so what? So what if you have that many people? What if they don't want your product? I mean, I'm not sure why. I mean, I have people asking me, lots of coaches want to be on my page. And I'm not interested in that, but you're saying, I understand you're saying you want to get in touch with their contacts. But so if you have a lot of people, you don't know them.
I get this question all the time. This is a really good crowd. This is a really good crowd. So you don't know them. Okay, I don't know you. Do you know me? Do you ever know anybody? I mean, I've been married for 10 years. I think I know my wife.
Or not.
I mean, sometimes she surprises me. I'm like, honey, I didn't know you liked that.
I know, I'm thinking small, but I.
Right. No, I'm
I
getting to your point.
Right,
Getting to
I
your
don't
point,
see the
okay?
point.
The likability factor of what you sell or product is up to you. You are the source. Everything comes back to you. You have to take accountability for everything in your business. Everything you do in your professional life is up to you. If you blame anybody else, it's false. It's fake. It's not real. It's fear. It's a fake fear. You control your business. You control your life. You make the decisions about what's best for your life, your business, and your family. And you own those. Now, I'm telling you how to get access to people that can help you with that. But you are the seller of everything you sell. You are the owner of it. You own it.
And also, it is the power of the network because you want to be visible, to a lot of people. Visibility, credibility, and then profitability. And I understand your point that when you're saying that, what if they don't care about your product, but maybe some of the folks that you're connected with will care about that product.
Well, I find the credibility in when I join the groups to ask questions or to respond to a question. I like that. And then that develops more credibility when I'm connecting with people in different groups that have questions or what if, and I have answers or I don't. So that's where I feel connected. But I don't feel connected when somebody just wants to join me because I'll see what's in their profile and they just want to sell me something. So.
See, I'm not, and I'll let you talk about. I'm not connecting to people because I want to connect to them directly. I want to know who they know.
Sean, taking that
It's all right.
one step
It's all right. We
further.
can talk.
So taking that one step further, I understand the value of equity and the value of the influence there, right? So you can leverage relationships,
Right,
and leverage them in favor of other people or of your services. But I think, when you're trying to sift those relationships down to more and more of a personal level, then not knowing people really personally, becomes an issue. Do you agree with that? Meaning that, okay, I connected to you, and through you I connected to him, right? Now, I want to leverage that relationship and get an introduction to him because I want to connect or sell to him or do business with him on a personal level.
So I'm going to follow up with a question to you. Do you think brands are emotions?
Of course, you basically create an identity and then you link that to an emotion to make the sale or to make the connection and have that identity there. But what I mean is that if I'm trying to refer him to a recruiter, I can do that in the virtual world, right? If I'm trying to connect to you through him to basically sell you a service in person or to bring you into my brick and mortar store or to do something that needs, human contact, it might be a lot more difficult because unless he basically says, I know him, he's my personal friend, I really have a history with him, and I know you, and we also have a history together on a personal level, then the introduction might not be as strong.
This is a logical question, right? And it's based on logic. Your logical question, here's my answer to it. You have a personal brand, okay? And increasingly, people are becoming brands. Okay, let's talk about authors and writers and, entertainment people. For some reason, we think a professional basketball player knows about science or has an opinion about politics. But our culture says that he does, so we believe it, right? So what I'm talking about is that your personal brand And how you interact with your personal brand is something you control. Okay? And how you build your personal brand, this is a tool to build your personal brand. LinkedIn. So are the other social medias. It builds a personal brand that builds credibility. And then people have an emotional tie to that. Okay? And people do, well, I can make a generalization. I don't know if people buy things because they need them all the time. I think they buy them because it touches them.
I think his comment is more towards, are you trying to say that if the person-to-person thing isn't there, it's harder to sell? Is that what you're worried
No,
about?
what I'm trying to say is that, and, basically, the point there is, I want to understand how to overcome that hurdle and that challenge, right? So what I'm saying is that if you have, for example, 30,000 people and you have a very strong brand, and that brand is supported by recommendations and comments and the association of you to these influencers, right? Then, I can work with you at that level, on the virtual level, through virtual recommendations and meeting other people in that world. But if I want to connect to you in a way that requires a personal interaction, it might not be as strong to connect to you and then to your second and third degrees, right? So
This tool does not take away us having coffee together.
Yeah, so for example, that's a good point, right?
No.
If I
Yeah,
know
no.
her and I want to get to you and then
Right.
I contact you and I say, Sean, I know her, she's a great friend of mine. I see that you're both connected. She made an introduction or not. I'd like to meet you and I'd like to have coffee with you because I have some ideas that I want to run by you, or I want to know more about you and, and your business process. You might say, look, I'll connect to you. It seems like, there's some common ground there, and I like your second degrees, and there's some people I like you to introduce me to. But having coffee, I don't see it justified, right?
You could always start with the simple, hey, we have a mutual friend.
Right.
We have a mutual friend, Sean, and I'd like to reach out to you because, you're doing
Right.
this and I'm doing that.
This tool
my
does not
question
change
really
the
was,
way the world works
Do you have an insight on how
in
to
the
overcome
cycle
that?
of social interaction.
It's
And
kind of like
it doesn't
marketing
change
yourself.
it.
It's kind of the same thing.
It increases it.
I have a question. In order for me to connect with the second degree, you have to have your email address. Is that correct?
No,
Mm-mm.
I do, because I have my account's restricted.
Mhm.
You do not.
So how do you connect with somebody? Because it's always asked either you know them from school or you know them
Right.
from business, but if you do not
Or other.
know them,
Yeah, you
What-
can
what-
use,
what do you
you can
click
use
on?
other, you can say
Friends.
friend, you can say that. Now here's the thing. I get a lot of this with different generations. Like the youth generation and the older generation ask me these questions. Okay? Because when I was growing up, it's like, you felt the same way. It's like there's this kind of like invisible line you don't cross, right? This is kind of my social space. You don't cross, right? That's disappearing. The youth don't have it anymore. Watch what they put on social media. There's no filter. There's no filter there, right? And most of our parents and all this, they're really worried about that filter. But you're looking at the future. The filter is steadily going on. Now, what does that mean about this filter, this social filter? So what I'm talking about is if you don't control your personal brand, this is about personal branding, someone else will. Someone will tell you how you look, what you're doing. You take control of your personal brand, you direct it. If you don't, it directs you.
How does that work?
Well, how does it look when you don't have a personal brand, or
You're not controlling it.
when you don't have it,
When you're not controlling it.
when you're not controlling it? Things happen and you believe that they happen and you just react to them. And you believe it's random, but it's not. It's happening because you're not in control at the moment. There's no randomness to this. You truly are in control of your brand. You have the power right now to be a media company. You yourself. How many people are becoming very wealthy at that? Becoming a single media company? I had a story on there about YouTube of a 16-year-old girl. I don't know if you read this one on YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel. She's 16 years old. She's making a lot of money. She said, I don't want to go to college, Mom and Dad. I'm making more money on YouTube. It's changing. This landscape is changing where we speak right now. The economy is changing through this. What we're looking at in social media, specifically in this, all of them are now publicly traded entities. The social media, why are they on the stock exchange? They're publicly traded now. You're talking about the changing of our economy through this. When you go back and look at how LinkedIn got created, it created from PayPal. Who's PayPal? PayPal said you can buy things with credit cards on the internet. That's how it got created. Reid Hoffman, who was the founder of LinkedIn, worked for PayPal. PayPal said, oh, well, huge companies came out of PayPal because now billions of dollars. So I work for Travelocity. How many you think sales a year Travelocity makes in dollars? Anybody want to guess?
150?
What did you say? Oh my God. 10 million? Billion.
2 billion.
Oh my God, this first guy got it right. It is $10 billion a year.
Travelocity?
In online sales. Now, here's why. Here's why, guys. Here's why. You don't get what's behind it. Here's the truth behind it. I work for Travelocity, okay? Travelocity is owned by Sabre. There's 4 languages that control world travel all over the world. And they talk to each other through languages. One is called Sabre. One is called Amadeus in Europe. And so when you're booking everything on the internet, you're actually going through a language. It's shifting from computer to computer. And that's how e-commerce is set up, right? And that's how you're seeing rapid exchanges of money.
Sabre's the operation system, right? That's what my parents use. They own the travel agency.
Yeah. And they have to do it through a program.
And they have to,
Right.
see all the setup.
Yeah. So when I get back to that, Sabre also owns American Express Travel. It owns AOL Travel. It owns Yahoo Travel. And guess what? All of them run on Travelocity. And you don't know it. Their format is all run by Travelocity. But you think you're buying American Express. The brand sold you. There goes back to your question. Was the brand real? It lied to you, didn't it? You're actually not buying from American Express. You really think American Express is a strong brand, don't you? I would buy my travel through American Express. I would buy my products through American Express. I get my Costco card through American Express. But my travel is run by Travelocity.
And there's tons of companies like that.
Yeah. So here's the brand. I'm talking about brand companies. I'm talking about personal brands. You are a company. You, as an individual, are a company. Okay, this is going to get psychological. I work for no one. I work for absolutely no one. I've never worked for anybody. I don't know what it is. My entire life. Everybody goes, awesome, right? What does that mean? It's a psychological state of mind. What did I do? I organized 5,000 recruiters. I can say no to anybody at any time. I own my brand. I have the power to shift my life by cards. Now, that's super powerful, isn't it? You can shift your life in a moment. What can you do with other people if you can do that yourself? Okay, we'll talk about the hierarchy in LinkedIn about that. Here's your structure. This is going to upset some corporate people in the room. So you're going to listen to it, right? Here's your structure. You have a corporate structure. I can't get access to that. Can I talk to you? Can I meet with you? Can I meet with you, CEO, Vice President? Can I go have coffee with you today? You don't know me from Adam. But how about this? How about there's a position in your company and 1,000 people have applied for that. And they went through that level and mid-level right there, that HR director, right? But I didn't do that. I went to you and I said, Vice President, CEO, I would like you to look. Would you consider looking at this person's credentials? And what had happened if you go to that HR director and say, you know, I would like you to review this. Are the other 1,000 people as important as that one? There's a psychology of life. And that is LinkedIn. LinkedIn shifts the psychology of life. Work, personal life, professional life. It allows you to get data for things you would normally pay for. It says you're empowered. You can get access to people and data. You can solve problems rapidly. Only about 1% of users of LinkedIn know how to use it. How many million are there? 500 million people now. I can spend a week with you and you will say, whoa, on LinkedIn. Spend a week with you sitting in your office and say, oh, whoa, I didn't know. I didn't know. And why am I saying that right now? Because I have the power to do it. I live my life through the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says you must help people in order for it to come back to you. If you don't help people, you won't have what you want. You won't get what you want. You won't have money. You won't have a place to get because you didn't help anybody else. So if you have the power to help somebody else, it's going to come back to you like an ocean.
Back to LinkedIn, do you pay for your account?
Oh, wow. I get great questions here. You know, I want to say something again because this projection went up. I'm having a better interaction now than if I would just put that projection up. So we're not missing anything on that. Okay. So you asked me that question.
Do you pay for your account? I know
only recently I paid for an account. I did about 20-some thousand without ever paying for them. People say that's freaky. Yeah, I didn't pay for anything, but I beta tested it, so I know how to break it.
Why did you decide to go to an account where you would pay? What value did you see in it?
A client hired me for a specific project, and I wanted to enhance my reach to certain CEOs and contacts. So I did a basic account. Now, paid accounts are good. Here's the difference between a non-paid account and a paid account. Your circle of influence is in LinkedIn. It's based on the algorithm of LinkedIn. And the algorithm of LinkedIn is based on your zip code. Okay, so when you do an advanced search, you can do an advanced search. You're doing a zip code. This is the title. This is 91920. This is a VP, Executive in Marketing, Vice President. When you signed up for LinkedIn, it was on your zip code. So that's where it's spread out. It's circling out through your zip code. So that's why if you have a big network, the circles get bigger and bigger. The search arena gets bigger and bigger. Does that make sense? That's the reason too, to have a big network and have a full profile.
Is it easy to change zip codes?
Yeah, you can. If you move, it's easy to change. Very easy.
So let me reach another group.
Yeah, and you can also, like what I've done, I've created, accounts for clients, and then I can search through their their network through their zip code areas. Like I might be in Atlanta doing work or Chicago or something like that, and I'll use that zip code data.
Sean, we have a few minutes left, but I would like you to talk about the importance of using keywords in your profile because we have people from different industries here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can talk a little bit about that, give them some tips in regards to optimizing your profile with keywords.
Yeah.
And in that saying, like, what do you need to do to create a good profile? Like, do you have certain bullet points that we should be focusing on?
I actually have a guideline. So if you contact me, I will send it to you. And it says exactly how many words you can put and all that. So you contact me on LinkedIn, I'll email it to you. The most important part, like I said, was your summary. The keywords that are in that, in your jobs, you're going to answer 3 questions in the job, right? What did you do there? Why are you important to it? What made you special? Okay, and then you're going to promote the company inside the profile. You're going to go, you can go to Wiki and say, oh, this company generates $2.5 million, and this is what it is, and this, you're promoting the company you used to work for. So they're going to like you for that, because you're going to say how great they are, right? So it's very, very important to have a complete profile, and the keyword searching that you're doing relates to what you want to accomplish, the idea of what you want to do. Okay, so whatever your field is, you can start Googling and say, these are specialized in my image of field. And then you start putting those type of keywords into there. I actually have an area where I put a keyword as a project. And it's just a keyword project. And I repeat the same words over and over again. Because it is an algorithm. It's not a resume. It's a search engine.
Can you hashtag? Is hashtags good in LinkedIn or no?
You can do any format you do in Word into LinkedIn. You can do special characters and anything like that.
No,
and actually, this is a...
Would it pick up a hashtag?
It may not. It may not. I never... that's something I have to research for you.
Yeah, I can see on Twitter and Facebook. And
yeah,
Instagram.
That's a Twitter thing, hashtagging.
Yeah.
But the question because I use Macs right now, but I recommend you open Word. You have it all there, and you don't keep the format. You're just copying and pasting as you're going, right? And you're making it very complete. The other thing about keywords, which I wanted to stress, is that it's important to tell about yourself, not just your company, but yourself. What are your interests? What are you about? What do you love? Like, I like sushi. I tell them I like Japanese food. I collect Mexican art. I mean, that'd be kind of an interesting thing to talk to me about, right? You don't know that I collect Mexican art. I mean, if you tell people about what you love, what's important to you, then you can have dialogues about something. So. Do you have other questions?
It's not really a question, it's more an observation. I am a self-proclaimed dinosaur when it comes to this stuff. I just got up on Facebook in the last year. Okay. But I do know sales and marketing. And I know that if I'm going, I know that that's a game of numbers. If I have to play that game, I'd rather deal with in the realm of 30,000 than 300 or 3,000.
It's a law of average thing. Yeah, it's a law of average thing. That's basic sales 101, law of averages. You're going to take a lot of no's, right? I mean, actually, I have 30,000, but maybe 20,000 people said no. That's a lot of work, right?
How much time do you invest to get in touch with your LinkedIn connection?
When I was first building my network, I probably did an hour a day. Yeah.
And now?
Now I do like a half an hour. I do less because people come to me. I don't need to build too much. A lot of people come to me.
But how to check all your connections and all that?
I'm sorry?
How much time you
How
spend
much
on
time you
LinkedIn?
spend in checking
Checking,
all the people that has answered and get in touch with you?
I would say about half an hour a day. Yeah, I do. I also use systems where I use other programs to see what's being said. This is manic. Okay, I want to understand this for a minute. Social media is a manic medium. Okay, this is where people don't, especially the old generation, don't get this idea. It's a psychology term I'm saying, manic, right? Manic means it's very rapid, and there's a huge amount of content going on. And for you to be noticed with all this content come on, you have to be kind of special. You have to stick out, right? Because there's so much content going on here, right? So if you can stick out in this field of content, then people will be attracted to you.
When it comes to Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, which one? I mean, I know you're all for LinkedIn, but what are the big differences between how effective they are for business.
Facebook allows you to instantly put somebody into a group. You can force a person into a group. There's a big difference between that. LinkedIn, there's an approval process. So with LinkedIn, you can control it through groups and managing it to get people in there. And then in Facebook, you can try to sift, but you can't see as well who knows who. Yeah, both are good though. I don't degrade any other social media, by the way.
And so if you have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you almost need an assistant just to handle all those.
Well, you can leave some.
Their phone.
Yeah.
Still, I'll just get into it and spend an hour on Facebook and I didn't intend to. So what do you say to that besides hiring an assistant?
Okay, and a lot of people want to get into social media, but they say it's a time thing. It's a time management thing, for their business. What I'm telling you is that if you don't, your competition is going to eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but can you?
Okay, no, I didn't mean like that, right? You're asking me how to structure it.
Right, but can you get
Yeah.
an app that's
Yeah.
going to do all this for you?
Yeah, there are.
We're gonna have another seminar where it's gonna address that specific topic. We'll give some tips, strategies, because there are many options that you can consider for that.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
we're all about affordable tools.
Is there like a Google Analytics for LinkedIn so I can craft?
When you do a campaign on LinkedIn, it's all analytical. Yeah.
If I want to identify the keywords that
Work for
like
LinkedIn.
my profile to include, so I can differentiate myself from my competitors, or that I could establish myself as an expert in a specific region or topic or whatever. Is there an external tool that could help me analyze keywords, phrases, that kind of thing, so you can craft a good summary of my profile?
There's not a specific software that does that, and LinkedIn's not designed for that. My say what you do is you're doing analytical searches on people that do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to say is like, okay, there's somebody in Chicago that does what I do. There's somebody in New York that does what I do, and I'm going to print them out and organize them, and I'm going to go, hey, they're how they're doing it, how they're doing it, how they're doing it, how they're doing it, and then I'm going to take the best of all of them, right, in an analytical way, and I'm going to put it into mine. Because the data is all there. Anywhere around the country, you can meet somebody doing what you do. So we'll wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, thank you, Sean. So we have one little task for the group. You can follow the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce group on LinkedIn, and then we can start all connecting and helping each other out, because this community is all about helping each other out. We're going to announce and this is like prime time, or I'm sorry, like hot off the press kind of news. On October 9, we're going to announce the North County Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce chapter that is going to be led by Salvador and Maria, who are here. You guys want to stand up? And after North County, next week, we're going to announce the first strategic alliance with a large chamber of commerce in Florida. I cannot say the name right now, but we will next week. And then on October 23rd, we're partnering up with a statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in the East Coast. So a lot of great things are happening with the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce. Now we're finally got to the stage where we're really going to position ourselves as a national organization. And with your support, guys, believe me, if you believe in this organization and in our mission, we're going to get really, really hard as a family business-owned companies. So thank you very much for your time. Francisco, thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you very much. Announcement about the flyer here that I passed out.
Oh, you passed it out? Yeah. Okay, excellent. So we are hosting a business workshop next week, October 8th. If you're interested, this is something that we do on a regular basis, and it's really going to be great. As you can see from the flyer that Francisco passed out, we're going to be covering the 6 key areas of capital accumulation and protection, putting some life into your business,